Today we are spawning in Highlands. It might look peaceful, but Highlands is a pretty crazy place to grow. This is a hotspot for lots of things that like to kill baby dinos, but this is where I'm going to spend most of my life today. I was hatched into a beautiful, loving family. My mother had a normal but gorgeous grey and white skin, and my father had a mythic skin, I think. Whatever skin this was, kinda looks like he was on his period and then someone got him with a highlighter. You'll see, in the end I look pretty cool even though not much of the red is coming through. This person that got the mostly grey skin with the red on the back looks crazy, but pretty cool. I spent my first days of my youth chilling on this rock, doing some circles with the family. This absolutely devilish galley stole a few eggs from my poor mother, and apparently ate them right in front of the family, but no one seemed to care very much, which is quite shocking. I also got puked on, which is just part of baby life. I practiced my tail slams. My mother taught me how to slam down my enemies. Brutally. And we hopped, got to strengthen those legs. Even my older brother joined in. Look at him go. Kicking, slapping, gone crazy. Bonding experience for the whole family. Please tell me you heard that. What a pathetic noise. The galleys is just annoying, but mine is quite impressive, I must say. Got some puke from Mom, and had a little gaze at this galley. I was really tempted to kick it in the head, but I was quickly told not to when I suggested it in chat, so I guess my family's a bunch of party poopers. Soon enough, it was time for me to graduate, leave the nest, and go out into the world of Highlands to find my own food, which isn't something that's very safe, but I was feeling pretty excited for the journey. I did a lot of growing, uneventfully, uninterrupted. In the dark evening light, I almost look normal. But don't worry, I'm gorgeous. I like to call this the red wine Teno. Now, I smelt this S diet over here, and since my family was a bunch of absolute baddies, I had to quickly run over and eat it up before they could get to it. Because Patrol Zone was spawning kinda strangely, it was hard to find food, and if they got their hands on this was like one of 2 bushes. As you can see, all the other ones were turning to leaf, so this was a rare find right here. And I thought I had it made. I thought I was so lucky, and so sneaky. Karma strikes when you least expect it, let's just say that. For my greed, I earned some pretty hefty bites on the tail I threw up because Sarahs are disgusting and they make me sick. As I ran, I cried out in pain, hoping my family would hear my cries of distress. I was the smallest and most vulnerable of the litter, but thankfully, they came to my aid. A lot of my siblings were probably more of a tasty-looking snack than a little scrawny thing like me. Even though I was bleeding, I did not want to slow down. I ran straight past the galley and got out of there. This clump of bushes looked good enough, but I didn't want to hang around too long in case they came looking for me. My health was looking as well as you would expect it to be looking. My blood wasn't looking too good either. 55. That's alright. After a while I started getting nervous, so I ran down to the mud. This stego is not allowed to protect me on Petits, as it cannot mix pack or mix herd. But he didn't attack me either, so I grabbed some mud. As you can see, that little red marking around my blood, it got darker. That means the blood clotting is working with the mud. Very good, and I kept running. Because I was warned by my older brother that they wanted me. Soon enough, with their hunger not quite satisfied, they came to chew on something a little bigger. I was thankfully hidden away in a bush, so they didn't come looking for me. Didn't feel very good to watch the other animals get chewed on while I hid, but sometimes that's what must happen. I was interested to see what the steg might do in this situation. He didn't really do much. I kind of wanted a better view because apparently I don't know self-preservation. And when I saw the skelly come sit in the bush, I kind of wanted to sit beside him. The galley gave me a little honk of greeting. As the fight kind of drew to a close, I got bored and decided that I should probably go look for my next meal. Now that my stomach was nice and empty, I could fill up on some diet. I just had to find a bush to sit in and wait a little bit longer. because when my stomach has those yellow markings on it, if I eat anything, I'll just throw up, since I'm still feeling sick. I was growing lots and quickly becoming friends with the local wildlife. These 3 Mayas were pretty chill. I thought I saw the biggest lag spike in history, but none of us were lagging, it was just this guy. He had unfortunately crashed. For now, I just watched him slowly wander into the distance, thinking, that's not my problem, is it? When I looked back, he had frozen in spot, his final resting place. I gave him a good long look, and then thought maybe I could snap him into wakefulness. That didn't really work, but it was still funny, to be honest. Again, I was thinking, not really my problem, until I spotted these 2 in the distance. We were not gonna let 2 little opportunists come and eat this poor defenseless guy. He didn't do anything, it's not his fault his PC sucks. Okay? It's not his fault he has the worst internet of all time. Maybe he's broke. And broke people deserve to live too, okay? They deserve to live. I gave them a good tail slap, just to let them know my thoughts. And to show them what I learned from my ancestors. Nobody hurts our Jeremy. Yeah, I named him Jeremy, so what? I think that name suits him. The Kanos honestly stood around for so long, it was quite boring. And I began to lose my enthusiasm for keeping this guy safe, but this Maya came and started the party. But Kanos do what Kanos do, and they ran away. Well, one of them ran away, the other one, clearly realizing that someone was asleep at their PC, had another mission in mind. None of us were having that, and by now 2 random other Tenos had just shown up to the noise. And no one was okay with some AFK murdering of Jeremy. Jeremy doesn't deserve this, and okay, well, I think I got bored or something, because apparently I just let them fight it out for a while I jumped over a Maya. I think he might have been a little bit bored of the situation too. With so many different aggro herbivores chasing these poor Kanos down, I started to feel slightly bad. Day turned to night. My brother left me. I don't know where he went. Probably looking for food, because this patrol zone genuinely sucked, and food would spawn like once every 20 minutes for like a 5 to 10 minute interval. But I was chilling. I was just sitting here with the galleys, AFK, kind of scrolling TikTok, waiting for my growth, when someone thought they could get the jump on me. No. Look at him. He's sneaking up. When the skelly stood up, I looked up at my screen wondering, what's he up to? And that's when I saw it. The Landino. Get out of here, Landino. I was gonna let him know what I thought. Chasing dinos is my specialty. I love it. I love to harass them, to kick them, to bite them. Everything that they deserve, to be honest. This guy, he was acting tough a little, but you can see how he's escaping to the water. Clearly he feared me, because I'm so terrifying. It's very important when trying to kick a dino to move towards them, if that makes sense, as they ult bite, so that your tail gets out the way. My skills obviously impressed him, and he fled. He ran for the hills. Look at him go. Keep scurrying, buddy. I gave him an angry little yell. I'm sure that taught him a lesson. Now back to sitting in the mud and scrolling on TikTok. Eventually, sitting around, looking at my phone, it got kinda old. I decided, let's go on a journey, through the caves, across the wide open fields. I wanted to be elsewhere, I was sick of being lonely. I mean, the galleys tried, and I appreciated their company, but they don't speak my language. They just don't get me, you know? So here I was, on a mission, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, something comes along and bites me. Hello? Are you serious? But I hit him with a kick-claw combo, and then a tail slam, and then another kick, another tail slam. Yeah, sent him running away, sent him scurrying. This Kano quickly learned what I had in store for him, and he ran far, far away into the open fields. I thought to myself, he's probably bleeding. Maybe I'll just chase him a bit. Keep him bleeding. He was out of sight, but not out of mind. You see that blood on the floor? Right there. Yeah, I might not have a tracking ability, I might not be a carnivore, but the aggro Teno lifestyle suits me quite well. Do I feel evil and slightly like a scumbag? Yeah, perhaps. But I sniffed this guy's blood for a good while. Once I got the trail, I decided it's what I wanted. It's what I needed. I need to track. It's in my DNA. Well, not really, it's actually not in any of my DNA, but I just wanted to. And if she wanted to, she would. So I did. I actually kind of lost him for a while on the top of this hill, but then I saw it. The trail. I must follow the trail. You might be thinking, what will killing this Kano do for me? What will it give me? Not food, not diet, not growth. It will give me satisfaction. And joy also, is that not enough? I was searching far and wide. Again, I lost the trail. I searched the woods. Where could this Kano have gone? He was not in the woods. Look at me standing here, clueless as can be. Well, I kinda gave up. What am I supposed to do? There's no blood. There's no sound. The storm masked everything. So I just kinda headed back home, and then I thought maybe I'll just check one last bush. Oh. One kick to the head, and it was lights out for this guy. That'll teach him not to hunt for food or play the game as a carnivore should. No, never do that again, thank you. I met someone who had seen my videos, which is really nice because I've been seeing a few of them lately. As I ran to the pond, I saw this dino and tried to teach him a lesson. But he didn't really want the lesson, and he went back into the water, like any self-respecting dino should. My work was done. I was feeling quite proud of myself. I also found these Mayas. One of them looks quite familiar. Two of them, actually. These might have been the Mayas from Highlands, but I don't think either of them were Jeremy. I miss you every day, Jeremy. Please come back. Your family wants you home. That corpse just fell from the sky, by the way, which is crazy and terrifying. That's to be expected though. On Petits there's body drops to feed the carnivores instead of having AI, so that there's more room to have players. 350 players, in fact. So far I had been frolicking, chasing children, assaulting carnos, but things were getting serious, and I had war flashbacks. I thought back to a time of loss, where my family was brutally slaughtered in a fight that I started with a trike. It was fun, and worth it, and I regret nothing, so let's do it again, I think. This trike deserved it, by the way. He was harassing the local herbivores, which is not allowed under my watch. I gave him some kicks, told him what I thought about the situation, and I kind of felt like I was showing off to the Mayas. I was playing it safe. It's a little more difficult when the trike isn't all worked up and panicky like the last one was. And it also helps when you have teammates on either side and you can hunt like a pack. But nothing was going to stop me from putting in a good effort. The Mayas appreciated my work, but I'm honestly not sure there was much they could do to help. I've only really ever played a Maya once, I think, and I don't think their moves are very suited for this. You need moves that don't make you stationary. This attack, by the way, does someone want to explain that? That was very unkind. And that is why you always move your tail out the way. Unfortunately, I didn't do that on this day, so instead I just screamed on a mountain. And by mountain I mean small hill. This other Teno came to join me, but we got up because this stego was a bit aggro. As you can see, all the large herbivores are apparently just very unhappy today. And you know what he got? He got his karma, but I didn't really feel happy about it, because I kind of hated the trike more. It's not every day you get to stand up on a mountain and watch a fight like this. It was kind of crazy. The trike chased him down while he waved his big old tail in the air. But once he missed his ult, the trike took the moment to attack him. Right there, I believe the steg should have just stood still and spammed its ult attack, but instead he tried to run. And at this point I did feel a little bad for him, plus I just wanted extra hits on the trike because he felt like the more evil of the two. Like seriously, he's sprinting after this steg, how bored do you have to be? That is unacceptable behavior, and you will be kicked. My health was quite low and I probably shouldn't have been doing this, but I still got some good kicks on him. I just had to avoid that crash until I walked straight into it. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking in that situation, but after that I was thoroughly cooked and had to just leave. I honestly ran into the forest and then started watching TikToks for like 30 minutes straight while I AFK'd, and afterwards I was all healed up and feeling a lot better. I did need some water though, and I think I scared the life out of this poor little raptor. Look at him run. This little pond was fun and all, plenty of action, but there's no place quite like home. For me, it was time to journey back to where it all began. And this time, I wouldn't be traveling alone. I traveled the steep slopes back into Highlands. CS was with me. You might remember them from my Kano video. On the way through Highlands, we also met this galley. I'm not sure if this was the same group. I don't think so. But I didn't feel any hostility to them, not like in my last Teno video. This galley, however, he clearly felt something because he kicked me straight in the head. That's not very polite. He must have been in chat with someone though, because they quickly came over and told him off. Honestly, being in a big group of galleys like this is what makes the playable really fun. I love running through the countryside honking. This little galley was the one that kicked their friend in the face before. I greeted them happily. What's not to love about a vengeful little chicken? Or maybe it's more like a goose. A naked one. Look at them, they're all gathering around me. They're so funny looking. I don't know, I love galleys, man. That guy almost threw himself off the cliff trying to jump me. It's ridiculous. As much as I appreciated them, I was on a quest. A quest to nest. Cause CS was a male. They had actually used a voucher and teleported to me. We ate for a bit, and then as we traveled through this cave, a bunch of galleys came streaming past us. They caught me quite off guard, but I said hi to them. And that same one jumped over me again, that little orange one. On this day, the walk through the cave was quite eventful. I wasn't gonna kill this little PT, life is pretty difficult for them as is, but I don't appreciate how confident he was in the fact that he thought that I wouldn't kick him. Then we saw some triplet dibbles. They were all the same color and seemed like the same age too. It's always a good day to admire a little pack of potatoes. The rotation of friendly faces wasn't done, however. As I came onto this ridge, I noticed a lot of yelling behind me. I stopped on the stone to wait and watched as a little herd of Tenos streamed down the mountainside. I also yelled back, of course. They were a full pack, so we couldn't exactly join them, but I still stuck around to see what they had to say. On Petits, the max amount of Tenos you can have is 4, and you're not allowed to overherd. You'll see what happens if you do, pretty shortly. This group was looking for a second-gen female to join up with. They wanted to nest, but I was already in a loyal, loving relationship with CS, obviously. That's when a familiar face typed in chat. It was none other than my older brother. I was absolutely thrilled to see his red highlighter body in its full-grown glory. We jumped for joy, which is just so cute. I love looking back on this clip. And now I'm even more glad that I didn't join up with the others because I was able to add him to my group. At this point, there were like 7 Tenos in one spot, so we started getting some warnings on our screen. The bot was not happy to have all of us joined up in one zone. But it wasn't about to get any better since the way that we were trying to go around the water, well, all the other Tenos were also heading that way. So that was about to create a whole lot of pain. As you can see, I'm getting a little hurt, and my stamina is getting sapped. That is just a little punishment for overherding. So we had a quick rest and then continued around the lake on our mission. That's when we stumbled upon a little someone hiding in this bush. You're never safe on the isle. With the shortage of food and the water glitch, crocs have taken to sitting on land and trying to ambush their prey. I was very lucky to have not been on this trail right here, because that's what he was trying to ambush, anyone walking along the path. But I wasn't on the path for some reason. I was just running across it when I heard a rustle in the bush, and my life flashed before my eyes. No Landino is gonna try and do something like that to me. Don't they know I'm the kicker of Landinos? This Dino looks very similar to the first one I encountered. I think it's the same individual. If he remembered anything about me, it's that I give a good kick. Clearly, he wanted round 2. Alright, little Landino. Let's dance. I gave him a bit of a runaround, kicking his tail and causing him to waste his stam on trying to bite me. None of my other companions seemed to want to be an idiot, like me, but I love being an idiot. I love testing fate. I love to run towards danger when I should be running away. I thought here that maybe he was scurrying, so of course I chased him, kicked him, missed like every single kick. But that didn't stop me from trying. But yeah, maybe I should have stopped trying because I almost became Dino lunch. Dinos are the ocean's fattest rats. Where there's one, there's two. So I started harassing the second Dino, which wasn't much smarter than harassing the first. I made the mistake of turning away and not towards the bite, and he got a good nip on my tail. My stomach was getting a little empty at this point, and my sibling had just announced that there was a patrol zone nearby. But I wasn't done. For some reason, I just really wanted to dangle my life in the jaws of an alligator, and continue trying to kick it, knowing full well that there was another one waiting to ambush me in the water. My group still didn't come to help, and to be honest, that's not really a bad thing. It was sort of a narrow fighting area, with the water being filled with danger, and having multiple running back and forth, bumping into each other, could have just gotten us tangled in some danger. So it was kinda good that there was just one being stupid. I barked in chat for some reason, because I'm just awesome like that, and took a little nibble of the grass because I was on the brink of starvation, even though Diet was just a little ways behind me and I could have just left at any moment. I couldn't have left. There's a Dino on the ground. Can you leave when there's a Dino on the ground? I don't know, I don't think you can. CS made their way over, just to have a bark at them, to have a scream. I love that. But I heard some distant noises of distress, so I ran off, sort of hoping that there was like a Kano or something more exciting to fight. For some reason, I didn't feed myself. As a mother, I'm just that generous, I guess, that I feed my kids before myself. So I was standing by the nest, puking on them with like 1% food in my stomach, grazing on some grass now and then to try and fill it, but luckily I had lots of diet. The highlighter looking uncle stood on the rock, watching out for Herreras and other danger, as well as yapping with the children. Look at all my tiny offspring, but look how fast they grew. They're huge. It wasn't long before they were taking their first steps out into the world, trying their first bites of plant instead of puke. I stayed with them, feeling my motherly dinosaur instincts take over, and also kind of needing food, but again it would have been way better if I ate before nesting, because now every time I ate something I kind of felt like I was stealing from the mouths of my children. And look at them, they're learning their tail slams, just like I did when I was a young Tenoling, and committing violence on each other, which is just unacceptable. For some reason, they were trying to challenge each other and doing like a countdown to see who could do a 3 call, as if it was chicken. This child got too scared and ended up just running away instead of screaming. As the night came to an end, I went back to my nest and started having some more babies. I had also found this wild baby Teno in the fields, and since he was already a baby, we decided that I would just kill him and give him the code so that he could get one of my eggs. That way he could have extra mutations. So after punting him in the face, he spawned in as a baby. That's when Xenu came over to announce some terrible, terrible news. I ran to meet him in the fields. asking, "What happened? What happened to my children?" I ran after him, fearing the worst. And as I approached, I heard one of my other children consoling them, telling the poor injured one that they would not be forgotten. "I will scream for you," they said. When the reply came, I realized it was my firstborn, and they told me that they had been jumped by a hare, a whole pack of them. I sat over him, protecting him from the elements. How could this have happened? How could this happen to my child? They were rapidly losing blood and looked scarred up. I thought I had nested into a safe area. How could I have been so distracted with my second lot of babies that I had neglected the safety of the lands? The dawn light that should have warmed our skin, instead cast ominous shadows across the land, as I wondered if my child would survive this fate. I mean, look at him, he's friggin' quivering and shaking, it's just horrible. That's when my brother noticed something even more horrifying, that there were Sarahs by the lake. Thankfully, my firstborn might be okay. His bleed had stopped, so he could move to a safer location. Now that imminent death had passed, I raced across the lands. I needed to make it safe. Never again could something so terrible happen to my children. They needed to be safe and protected, and I wished to wage war on my enemies. Side by side, brother and sister raced towards danger. When we got there were Sarahs sitting on the rock like they owned the place. Amaya threatened them from below, and as we approached, they got up. It was fight or die. We had to get in there, practice what we had learned. Our kicking, our tail slamming, it all had to amount to something. As the fight engaged, another Maya raced across to us. The first Sarah dropped, and the odds stacked heavily in our favor. The second Sarah fell to Zenu's kick, and the third didn't stand much chance. Mayas are way faster, and Tenos are just barely faster. There was really nowhere this guy could run. He was put down like the dog he is. No disgusting, slavering Sarah will live in these lands and threaten my offspring. We let out our battle cries of victory, even though it was a bit of an easy fight. For glory, we had won. The sun continued to lift higher into the sky. All the while, CS had been sitting on the nest, diligently caring for a whole pack of children. Luckily, they were a father that did not go out to get the milk. Now, at my prime age, I could sit back, surrounded by my family. Big, medium, and small. Highlands was now thoroughly overpopulated with herbivores. And maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. The youngest had now graduated from the nest, and we all stood in a line to scream. We lined up like a pack of rule breakers and screamed at the sky. This isn't exactly encouraged, and is definitely overpacking by like a country mile, but it makes for a cool clip. After that, we became reformed and quickly broke up from our mega herding ways. And also found an old friend. The infamous Landino was still hanging out on his spot of the track, hoping to ambush anyone who wandered by. But with the arrival of all these other large herbivores, I was quickly struck down with a punishment from the gods. The server bot wasn't the only one dishing out punishments. This Dino quickly snatched up the overconfident Dibble and took him far, far away into the lake to be drowned. It was such a tragic day for herbivore kind. I can't believe this happened. Anyway, all this was filmed in one run because if I logged out, I was going to be a default skin. That's just how nested skins work. So instead, I stored my dino and became a corpse on the ground. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably fed that greedy ass Dino too. God damn it.